Happy Friday. It's the night before the race, and I'm doing my regular gear check. It's a two-purpose thing. One is to give you guys an idea of what it takes gear-wise to do one of these, and it also helps me to mentally go through everything and go through my mental checklist so I sleep well and don't feel like I forgot anything. So I've got everything laid out, and that's all my gear for tomorrow, not counting the backup stuff, which I'll go over later. So we'll start off with the basics. I've got my Hokas, of course, my running shoes, and I always make sure I have a backup pair with me. Working my way up, I've got this year, because of the Cross Florida run earlier this year, I'm sorry. This year's flown by. It rained so much, so I got these waterproof socks, and I don't think I'm going to need them tomorrow, but I carry them with me just in case. It's fascinating how it works. It keeps all the water out, and it wicks the sweat away from my feet. So if it's rainy and soggy outside, these work really great. And if it's super cold, they also help keep my feet warm. But I'll probably just end up with the regular running socks, cotton blend running socks that wick a little bit, and they're super comfortable. And it'll be kind of chilly in the morning. So I've got my gloves. Something I also got from lessons learned on the Route 40 romp is calf compression sleeves. I had a really swollen calf. I don't think it was a clot, but just to be safe, I want to wear these to help with my circulation, and they've seemed to work pretty well on my longer runs to keep blood from pooling too much down in my feet, because I'm on my feet for 24 or 30 hours at a time. Moving up, something new this year, last year I wore joggers and sweatpants. They're so heavy and bulky. I decided to invest in some micro fleece lined leggings, and I've tested these out a couple times, and these things are just awesome. I put them on, and if it's 40, 50 degrees out, I don't feel a thing. So I'm really happy I got these, and I'm not bothering with sweatpants anymore. Got my regular running shorts. I'm going to be layering a bit tomorrow. I've got my breathable shirt. I've got my UV rash guard long sleeve shirt for during the day. And since it's going to be cold, instead of wearing a hoodie, I got this guy. I invested in a micro fleece lined running jacket, and it's kind of cool. It's got these little zipper vents to help me stay cool so I don't build up too much heat. But I ran in like 45 and 50 degree weather in this with just a long sleeve shirt like that underneath it, and I didn't feel a thing either. So this year I'm doing a lot better with layers and being lightweight and efficient and not getting bogged down with bulky stuff that's going to absorb a lot of moisture. So I'm doing really good this year with lessons learned, and I feel pretty good about my mobility throughout the race. Like I said, I got my backup Hokas. I've been getting used to running hats lately, and this kind of started over the summer. I usually don't like stuff touching my head and blocking the wind and everything, but I've really gotten to like running hats. They pull the sweat away from my head, they keep the sun out of my eyes, and they're really a lot more comfortable than I used to give them credit for. So I've got my hat, and I've got a backup visor from Running Elements, and my tribe in Ocala Triathletes. I just want to give a quick little shout out to Running Elements. They just recently opened up a store in Ocala, and I'm actually wearing a t-shirt from them. But they just opened up a store in Ocala recently, and they've got shoes, hats, supplements, just everything. And on top of that, the owners are just wonderful people. So please give them a visit and support them. So maybe one day a sponsor. I don't know. But we'll see. Moving on with gear. I've got my trusty orange mud pack with two 24-ounce bottles. I've got a mask in here just in case I have to go inside somewhere for an emergency. And in another pocket I'll have never leave home without toilet paper. 2-ply. This will be the first time I've done an ultra with it, and I've run up to like 50 miles with it, and it's super comfortable, and I'm really looking forward to doing this long race with this. Because in the past I've used those waist packs, which were really convenient and served their purpose for a while, but after a long time it really put a lot of pressure on my stomach, and I think that's where a lot of my gastric distress came from in a couple of my races. So I'm really looking forward to carrying something on my shoulders, above my center of gravity, not hanging off the back, and a lot more comfortable to wear, and keeping my waist and my bladder and my stomach, keeping the pressure off of that. Another thing I've got this year, this is my Orange Mud, same company that makes my pack. It's a changing towel. So it's a good towel in itself, but it's got this little system. I'm gonna have to just undo it. It's got a hook here and grooves here. So whenever I'm off on the side of the road, if I have to change clothes, I can just wrap this around my waist, take my tights off, put some shorts on, do whatever I need to do, and I don't need a bathroom or anything like that. So this is super handy. Plus I use it for a car seat whenever I go on runs at the trail. I've got my backup water bottles. I've got my handheld, again, Orange Mud. If you can't tell, I really fell in love with this company. I really love their gear. If you're a runner, I highly recommend you check them out. So I've got my handheld bottle. I'm gonna have, these are two 24-ounce bottles. This is one 20-ounce. I'm thinking this might be good for in the middle of the night. At a couple of my stops, I asked if my crew could get me some like chicken broth or coffee or tea. I can hold that in my handheld just for a little bit. Got some backup bottles if I need them. For my crew, I've got Big Mag Light and Shield Your Eyes. This thing's brighter than the sun. just to help light up the way at my aid stops in the middle of the night, because I want them to be safe. I got a reflective vest for them too. And I got my trekking poles too. I don't know if I'm going to need them or not, but in the middle of the night, they kind of come in handy. If I get tired, I can take the pressure off my feet a little bit and use my hands to help me along. And also beat away murderers if I need to. I've also got my headlamp. Got a couple functions there. That's for my head, and I've got a tail light. Backup light if I need it. I've got all my backup batteries. I've got my charger if I need it. It's just a USB charger. My Garmin should be good. I've tested it a few times, and it should be good finally. Now for this 24-hour race. This is a Phoenix 6X Pro Solar. It's an upgrade from the Phoenix 3 that I had that was a few years old. And the battery life on it is just fantastic. So I shouldn't need it for my watch, but I got my card in case I need it for my phone, because I'm going to have my phone on me. In case the weather gets bad, I've got a cover for my phone. I've got my Shuggy Company lip balm. I've got my shades. I don't go anywhere without my Shuggy Naughty Bits and Pits anti-chafing balm. I've got my crazy pills, Band-Aids if I need it. Later on in the race, my mouth starts to feel really nasty, so I got my toothbrush and toothpaste, and I'm going to carry those with me. And that covers it for the gear. Now, I usually go through my cooler too, but I left that out in the car because there's nothing really fancy about that. I've really stripped down my nutrition. The first 100-mile ultra I ate a lot of sandwiches and foods, and I think I overloaded my system, and I got a lot of issues from that. So what I've done now is that I've stripped it down to, I've got my energy gels, I've got my Gatorade Endurance that I always use. Those are really good on my stomach. Some little energy shake bottles if I need them. And this year I've got bananas if I need them. And then every couple of hours I just made a little peanut butter and honey sandwich. I've done that a few times I did that on my 50-mile run, and that worked just perfect. So my nutrition is really stripped down and simple now, not too much food. I'm still getting some normal food, not just energy gels and Gatorade. But I'm feeling pretty good about, my nutrition, my hydration, my gear. Just in the 2 races that I've done in the last year, I've learned a lot. So I'm feeling pretty good. I don't think there's anything else to go over besides that. In my race strategy for tomorrow, I'm still going to check in a couple times with Facebook Live around the beginning, and probably maybe around the middle, and then a couple more times during the night. But one thing I learned is that I'm going to try and do this in 24 hours, but going fast is not a viable option. So going faster is not a viable option. So what I'm going to do is take advantage of not wasting any time at my aid stops and not spending too much time doing live videos. I'm still going to do a few of them, but save time is going to be where I gain time on this race. So I'm going to go with the mantra of relentless forward motion and not giving up too much time in breaks, and as far as walk breaks or nap breaks. I've got my best friend, he's going to text me throughout the night with a few things, and one of them, one of the reminders I told him to text me is that what would feel even better than walking right now is finishing. So that's going to be my mantra. Another one is going to be pain reminds me that I'm alive. So if I'm feeling pain, that means I'm doing good. I'm still alive. I'm not dead. I'm not sitting around or sleeping. So the goal is to keep moving, keep pushing through, and to see if I can't wrap this thing up in 24 hours. Reminds me of tracking. So last year they had GPS trackers on us, and it was a really bad experience for the race director. It was pretty convenient for us, but it was a big headache for them. So I'm not going to have a GPS tracker that is provided by the race company. I'll still have my Garmin tracker. So what I'm going to do is what I do on my long runs. Whenever I start my activity, that's when my Garmin generates a web link to track my Garmin, and you can see like my speed, you can watch me on the map, shows my heart rate, that kind of thing. So when it creates that link, I'll post the link in the running group, and then you can track me on that. The only issue with that is that it expires in 24 hours. So that's one of my reasons for trying to finish this thing in 24 hours, is so you can track me the whole time. If all goes well, that won't even be an issue. So you'll have that link to watch. Excuse me. And if something happens to where it looks like I'm going to go past that 24 hours, I'll share my phone location with some of my crew, and I've asked them all to post live videos at some of the aid stops if they can, and if it gets later on in the race, I'll ask them to update everybody just to let you know I'm still moving. So with that, I'm going to pack everything else up, and the race starts at 6 a.m. Eastern, and sorry. Not all of my road crew is happy about that. So anyway, I'm going to pack this stuff up, and I will post a link at 6 a.m. The start should be on time, no problem. And I'll probably check in maybe around 7:30 once I'm on the road, warmed up, in a good rhythm, maybe get a stop under my belt, and let you guys know how I'm doing. And now I'm gonna see if I can get some sleep. I've been really excited. As you can tell, I'm rambling right now because I'm really excited and I'm just ready to get this thing started. So I'm gonna try and get some sleep. Probably won't sleep much tonight, but I'll check in with you guys tomorrow.